So my name is Marko. I work with Avio Presentation Systems, and this is our primary education webinar for March 2025. Okay. What I'll do is I'll go through the features that we have around our screen, and then we're going to go through our onboard features on the screen as well. So around my screen, again, this differs on depending on which model of the Clevertouch interactive display we have. The display that I'm currently working on is the Impact Max 2. At the bottom of the display, we have two speakers. Now my display comes with 20-watt speakers. They're usually either 16-watt or 20-watt speakers, which are really loud for the classroom, and they're great quality for different classroom work and etc. In the middle of the screen, we have two magnetic pads. These are for our stylus pens. So you receive two stylus pens with your Clevertouch interactive displays. One has a fine end, and the other side has a large end on it as well. At the bottom right side of the screen, we get a few inputs like a USB Type-C and etc. Again, depending on which side of the screen, which type of the screen you have, you might get different inputs, and we also get our power button there as well. On the right back side of the screen, we get different inputs like our HDMI, VGA, DisplayPort, and etc. Now our Clevertouch interactive display screens come in 65, 75, and 86-inch sizes, and these are all measured along the diagonal of the screen. At the very top, I also get a few small holes. These are my microphone holes. Now my Impact Max 2 does come with a microphone, so we can use that as well for different screen recordings, meetings, and etc. So what I'm currently playing on the screen, it's called Cleverlive. So it's a presentation made on Cleverlive. So Cleverlive is a digital signage app that comes with each one of your Clevertouch interactive displays. Now Cleverlive comes at no extra cost. So it's a free app that comes with each one of your Clevertouch screens. The useful thing with Cleverlive is that you're able to connect your interactive displays to your Cleverlive digital signage players that you might have in the building. You're able to connect all of them to one account, and you're able to run presentations, either separate presentations on separate screens or the same presentation on all the screens that you might have in the building. Now you can also make different users, and you can give different permissions to different users on there as well. You can also send different announcements either across one screen or all the screens in the building, and you can set the time for those announcements as well. So it could be 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and etc. To exit out of Cleverlive, all I have to do is just tap on the screen, and it's going to take me back to my home screen of my Clevertouch. Now this is the education home screen. Here we have two side arrows, and we have one arrow at the very bottom. If we're looking to connect our laptop or our device to the interactive display with a wire, I'm going to tap on that down arrow. Once it's connected, I'm going to get a little blue circle under the connection that's connected to. So for example, I currently have HDMI 1, 2, and 3. I also have DisplayPort, and I also have Type-C connection available. Okay, so once I'm connected to the screen, for example with HDMI, there's going to be a little blue circle under that HDMI, for example, 1 connection. If I'm connecting my laptop to the screen with HDMI or DisplayPort or VGA, with HDMI and DisplayPort, I'm going to receive audio and visual, but I'm not going to receive two-way touch, okay? But with each one of your Clevertouch interactive displays, you would have received a cable that has a USB end and it has a square end, okay? This cable is going to allow you to get two-way touch. Essentially, you're going to be able to navigate around your interactive display with your finger as it is as you would with a mouse. Okay. If you tap back into that down arrow, you also get a choice for a Type-C connection. Type-C connection is going to give you audio and visual from your laptop to the screen, and it's also going to give you that two-way touch without having to use the additional cable. Another useful thing with Type-C is that you're going to be able to charge your device while you're presenting on the interactive display. In these settings, I also get to adjust my brightness, and I get to adjust my sound here as well. I also get my display settings. In here I can have my auto brightness mode on, different eye care modes, and etc. And under that I get different audio modes like a standard mode that's currently on, or I can change it to a meeting, class, or I can customize the sound mode myself as well if I wish to do so. So these are different ways that we have of sharing our display, our laptop to our interactive display with a wire. Now let's say you come into the classroom and you want to share your laptop to the interactive display wirelessly. You are able to do so with this 6-digit code that we have at the top of my screen. If I tap into that 6-digit code and if I tap on view the main interface, I can open up the app, okay? The app is called Clevershare, as you can see on the top left side of that box. So Clevershare, you can download it for free from your App Store, Play Store, or from your Google Chrome browser, for example. On your laptop, you can download it for free from those online sources, okay? Clevershare is going to allow you to share either your laptop to the screen wirelessly, or it's going to allow you to see the screen of the interactive display on your own device, again, wirelessly as well. With Clevershare, I have to make sure I'm connected to the same network. So as you can see above my 6-digit code, it's telling me the Wi-Fi that I'm currently connected to. I want to make sure I'm connected to that same Wi-Fi or that same network on my on my laptop that I'm going to be sharing from as well. So I currently have the Clevershare app open on my Surface Pro here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in that 6-digit code. So I get two options here. I get an option to screen share. As I mentioned, this is going to be me sharing my laptop to the interactive display. So I'm going to start that. I'm going to tap on mirror. I'm going to tap on accept. And I can see what's currently happening on my laptop from my interactive display. And the useful thing about this is that you also receive 2-way touch. So I'm able to navigate around my laptop from the interactive display itself. I'm able to look up different things on my Google browser and etc. Okay. At the bottom left side of the screen, I get a little arrow. This arrow gives me a few different options. Okay. Again, option with a little shutdown icon that's going to allow me to stop sharing my laptop to the interactive display. Next to that, I get two windows together with an arrow inside one of the windows. This is going to allow me to bring my Clevershare into a smaller window on the screen, and I'm able to move that window around. Next to that, I get a choice for my keyboard. So this is going to bring up my keyboard that I have on my laptop, and I'm able to type different things into my search browser, like Clevertouch and etc. I also get a choice for my volume. That means that I'm able to either mute or keep the sound of my laptop sharing to the screen. So for example, if we have a YouTube video on, we don't want it muted, but if there's some sort of a sound playing while we're screen mirroring, we can mute it as an option. Now, with Clevershare, we can have up to 50 devices connected to the interactive display, and we can show up to 9 devices on the screen at the same time. This could be useful if the kids in the class are doing some sort of work or activities on their laptops or their devices. You can get them to connect with Clevershare to the interactive display, and you can cycle around different students, making sure they're not, for example, cheating or they're not doing anything they shouldn't be doing on their devices. Now the second option that I get here is to desktop sync, okay? Again, it's going to ask me for permission, so I'm going to make sure I accept that permission. And I'm going to make sure that I start broadcasting, or sorry, mirroring to my laptop. As you can see, I can currently see what's happening on the interactive display on my own laptop. Now, if I go back into that 6-digit menu, and if I go into my view main interface, I get a choice for my devices here at the bottom of my screen. So these are different devices that are currently connected with Clevershare to my interactive display. Usually when there's more devices connected, you're going to see all the names down as a list here. As you can see, there's a finger pointer tool. There's a yellow excuse me, there's a yellow tick next to that finger pointer tool. That means when that tool is activated, that 2-way touch is enabled. 2-way touch is going to allow either you or your student that's working from their laptop on the interactive display to receive 2-way touch. As you can see, I'm currently nowhere near the interactive display, and I'm able to navigate around different menus of that interactive display through my own laptop, and I'm able to open up different apps and use the display from my own laptop. I'm going to take you through the Lynx Whiteboard now. If I tap on one of my side arrows, I get a choice for different apps that I can have quick access to on my Clevertouch. At the very top, I get a choice for my Note or for my Whiteboard app. Now, depending on which whiteboard is set as my default whiteboard in my settings, that's the whiteboard that my Clevertouch is going to open for me when I tap on that icon. I'm going to take you through how to change those settings later on in the session as well. So I currently have the Lynx Whiteboard set as my default whiteboard, so it opened the Lynx Whiteboard for me. Now I'm currently signed into the Lynx Whiteboard, meaning that I can see all the different files that I have on my Lynx Cloud account. At the bottom left side, I get a 3-line menu, and I get a choice for my options. In here, I have different options and different settings that I can play with. For example, we have our language settings. So here we can change the language of our Lynx Whiteboard to, for example, Irish, French, Spanish, and etc. Under our general, we get a choice for our fonts. So these are different fonts that we can use when we're typing on the whiteboard with our keyboard if we don't want to annotate with our hand, okay? Here we have choices for three different text fonts, sizes, types, and etc. And we also get a choice for our handwriting recognition tool here as well. Now I'm going to open up a new whiteboard page and I'm going to take you through some of the features that we have on the Lynx Whiteboard. Down here we get 1/1. So these are different pages that we have on our Lynx Whiteboard and different pages that we're currently on that Lynx Whiteboard on, okay? For example, it's telling me 1/1, meaning that I'm on the first page of that one-page file. I can add more pages into that if I wish to do so, and I can navigate to the first page there, for example, so it's telling me 1/4. In the middle here, we get a few tools. So I have my finger pointer tool, and it's currently selected, which means there's a little blue line on there, okay? With that finger pointer tool, I'm able to move different objects and different shapes, images around the screen, and I'm able to resize them as well. Next to that, I get a choice for my pen tool. So inside my pen tool, essentially I can access my pencil case, which has all the different access to all the different pens, like our ink pen, highlighter, and etc. If I tap on that pen, it's going to give me a choice of different sizes and colors for that pen. And if I tap on that pen icon again, I'm going to get a choice for all the different pens that I have available here. So for example, I have my horizontal lines, which is going to allow me to change the size of that pen. And I have my colors that's going to allow me to change the color of that pen. I currently have the ink pen selected, so I'm able to start annotating on the screen with that ink pen. We also get a choice for our highlighter, so we're able to highlight different things on that screen as well. We also get a choice for our laser pen. The laser pen is going to disappear after a few seconds on the screen. So it could be useful if you're talking about a certain object on the screen or about a certain paragraph that we have on the screen. After a few seconds, that laser pen is going to disappear, meaning that you don't have to go back into it to delete it. We also get some recognition tools, which comes with Lynx Pro. We have the text and shapes recognition tool, which if I write on the screen, it will recognize my text and it's going to turn it into a font that I specified in my settings. We also get the shapes recognition tool, which is going to recognize my lines and it's going to turn them into straight lines. We also get the math recognition tool, which is going to calculate different equations on the screen. I'm able to select that answer and I'm able to reveal the answer to my class. If I go back into my pencil case, I also get a choice for my rainbow pen. So anytime I lift my finger off the screen, the color of that pen changes. And I also get a choice for that animated rainbow, which is constantly going to change the color of that pen. These rainbow and animated rainbow pens could keep it interactive for the students that you might have in class, especially if they're coming up to the whiteboard and annotating on the whiteboard with these tools. Here I also get a curve tool and a line tool. So for example, we're able to just draw a line with that tool, and we're able to, if using the curve tool, we're able to make a line on the screen. I'm able to use my finger pointer tool and select that line. I get 3 green circles and I'm able to drop that line down and make a curve on it. I also get a choice for my eraser here. I'm able to use it to raise different things on the screen. Onto my next page, I get a T letter here. So this is the T letter that I was talking about earlier. So we can choose the font that we want to use. I can tap on the screen depending on where I want to type with my keyboard. I'm going to get my keyboard and I'm able to start using it to annotate on the screen. I can resize my writing and I can move it around as well. Next to that, we get our paint pot here. So with the paint pot, I'm able to change the color of my background. And I'm also able to change the color of different writings on the screen and etc. So for example, I made it very thin, so it might be a bit hard to, there we go. For example, I changed the color of that L letter on the screen. Here we also get a choice for our plus icon. So this is going to allow me to browse different content from different either online sources or cloud sources that I have connected to my Lynx account. So if I tap on browse files, since I have my Google Drive connected to my Lynx account, I'm able to find different files from my Google Drive. Here I can select any type of file, whether it's PowerPoint, PDF, Word, and etc. And I'm able to insert that into my screen. Now that might take a few seconds to load up. There we go. I'm able to resize that PDF file, for example, on the screen. And as you can see under that PDF file, it's telling me 1/2, meaning that I'm on the first page of that 2-page PDF file. So I'm able to go to the second page of that file as well. What I can do is I can grab one of my pen tools, like my highlighter, for example. I can choose the size and the color of that highlighter. Now that's probably a little bit too big. And we can highlight different things on that PDF file. We can also choose our ink pen, for example. Again, we can change the color for it. And we can start annotating and taking notes around our PDF file as well. On to my next page, I'm going to go back into that plus icon. And now we also get a choice for a page link, okay? Page link essentially is going to allow me to bring a snip of one of the pages that I have on my Lynx Whiteboard into my current page, okay? So for example, I can grab a snip of my first page. I can select that first page, click OK. And it's going to bring a snip of that first page onto my current whiteboard page, which is number 3. I'm able to move that snip around and I'm able to resize it. This could be useful if we're referencing something from a different whiteboard page that we have done work on. So we can have our reference in here at the top and we can annotate on the other part of the screen. We also get a choice for our tables, so we can bring in 5x4 tables, for example, and we can resize them as well. Back into the plus icon, we also get a choice for our shapes, okay? So in here, we can bring, for example, a circle shape. I can choose the paint pot and that crop tool, and I can choose a shape split, okay? So I'm able to split those shapes into different parts, and I'm able to take those parts out of the shape, okay? I'm able to select that part and I have my little 90-degree angle icon. I'm able to see the percentage, radius, angle, area of that part of the shape as well. And I'm able to resize that shape too. Back into my plus icon, I also get a choice for my content. So inside my content, I can browse different online photos, YouTube videos, GIFs, and etc. And I'm able to bring them into my whiteboard. Now these are all safe search and all the YouTube videos are cleansed of ads before they're shown on the screen. For example, let's say we're learning about Ireland geography, okay? We're going to look up the Ireland map from our photos. And we can drag and drop. Again, we have more than one page, so we have multiple pages here that we're able to find different types of maps. We're going to drag and drop a map of Ireland on the screen, and we're going to resize it as well. What I'm able to do is I'm able to move that picture around. I'm able to use my ink pen, for example, and we're able to annotate over different parts of our map, and we're able to take notes next to those parts as well. Another useful feature is that if I go back into my content and I click on that Microsoft Bing icon again, I'm able to choose different GIFs or different YouTube videos for that as well. So for example, we have a video uncork. I can move that window around, and again, I can resize that window as well. We're able to start that YouTube video. Since it's clearing the YouTube video of ads, it will take a few seconds for that YouTube video to load up. Hopefully it will load up for me, and once it's, there we go. And once it's loaded up, we can change the volume of that YouTube video, and we can still be annotating on the screen while that YouTube video is playing on our whiteboard. We're going to pause that video. I'm just going to delete it as well. Back into my plus icon and my content page. Inside the little file icon here at the top, I'm able to bring in different objects for different subjects, and I'm able to bring in different backgrounds onto my whiteboard. So for example, I can choose backgrounds, and I can choose line paper backgrounds, and I'm able to drag and drop different line paper backgrounds on the screen. I'm able to resize them just by zooming in or zooming out of them as well. If I go back into my backgrounds at the top, I'm able to drag and drop a transparent background on the screen and get rid of that line paper background that I've done or that I've added to the screen. Here we can also put in different mind maps or different pyramids and etc. We can resize those as well if we wish to do so. I can go back into my home. I also get a choice, for example, for maths. So with maths, we can drag and drop our real life size ruler in. We can also add in a compass. We can add in an angle measurement tool and etc. So I'm going to use two of my fingers to move that ruler around and to measure a side of my triangle. I'm going to use the red and the blue notch to measure that side of the triangle, and I'm going to stamp that on the screen as well. So as you can see, you might not be able to see it as well, but the measurement is 19.1 centimeters on the screen. I also get some AI tools here as well. So this comes with Lynx Pro as our annotating text and shapes recognition tool and our maths tool. So with our AI features, we're able to create different presentations just by typing in the topics that we want to work on and the age group that we're going to teach. So for example, if we're teaching 12-year-olds about different animals in Africa, we can write that into our AI generator, and it's going to generate different presentations with different images and etc. They're going to take our students through that topic. We can also generate different media like our image generating tool, so we can generate different AI images from text. And we can also generate different paragraphs from text as well. So for example, Dublin in 1990 and etc. If I tap on that three-line menu at the bottom left side of the screen, I can either share and print, or I can save the presentation to my files. To share and print, essentially what I'm doing is I'm grabbing all the files, or I can just choose, for example, only 2 slides or all of the slides. I can tap on share. What that's going to do is it's going to bring all the files of my presentation to a one file. We're able to scan that QR code and we're able to download that presentation onto our device. This could be useful if you're having a parent-teacher meeting, or maybe all the teachers are getting together and they're doing some sort of a meeting. They can scan that QR code and they can save that presentation onto their own device. If I tap back into that three-line menu, I also get a choice for save as. So I'm able to save the presentation onto my files. As I mentioned previously, I have connected my Google Drive to my Lynx Whiteboard account. So I'm able to navigate around my Google Drive, and I'm able to save it to my files, or I can also save it to my Lynx cloud. Once you make a free Lynx account, you get some, I think it's 1 or 2 gigabytes of free storage on that Lynx cloud as well, and you can additionally connect your OneDrive or Google Drive, which would give you more cloud storage available as well. At the bottom, we can rename our file, and next to that, I get a choice that says Lynx 5. So that's the file that's going to save it as, okay? If I save this whiteboard file as a Lynx file, that means that all the interactive features, like my shapes, my YouTube videos, my tools. Everything is going to stay interactive, meaning that I can go back into it and move it around. If I save it as a PDF file, essentially it's just going to be a normal PDF file where you won't be able to go back into it and move different shapes around and etc. Once I select my destination where I'm going to save that file, I'm just going to tap and save at the bottom right side of the screen. Inside my Lynx Whiteboard menu, I get a choice for my Lynx portal. So Lynx portal is going to take me to an online website that Lynx has with all the new features and etc. This is where I can make my Lynx Whiteboard account as well. Under that, we get a choice for our Lynx activities. So Lynx activities are different simulations and games made by Lynx and another company called FET. So it could be useful to go into the Lynx activities and explore different subjects that you have activities for. Under that, you get a choice for your Lynx screen recorder. The screen recorder is going to allow you simply to screen record different lessons that you might have in class. You can also choose to have the microphone on or off, and you can screen record these lessons and you can save them onto your files to use them in future. Under that, we get a choice for our recent activities. So these are recent activities that I've went to my Lynx activities to. So for example, I used my balancing act where we have different weights and we're trying to balance them. You also have teaching clock and etc. Now I'm going to go through a quick presentation that Lynx team made. It's called the school day. Just to show you how you can work around different features of the Lynx whiteboard and how you can make different presentations with the Lynx whiteboard. Just give that a few seconds there to load up. Now, the idea behind Lynx whiteboard, is to make these presentations at home and to share them in class the next day when you arrive in class on your Clevertouch interactive displays, okay? So you can download the Lynx Whiteboard app on your laptop. You can make these presentations at home, make them interactive, and then play them on your Clevertouch interactive display next time you're in your class. I'm going to tap on that three-line menu and I'm going to tap on Start Presenting, okay? So here we can cycle through different pages of our Lynx Whiteboard. So, for example, it's almost 9 a.m. Let's fire our 3 characters as they head for a day at their school. So we've added a few icons here for our school. We've added some text. We can use Timon and we can drag and drop Timon into our school bus. Okay. We can also use the clock to set up the certain time on the clock as well. Here we can add in different sounds behind different files or different pictures, okay? Now again, my advice would be to do this on your laptop. Once you select a certain file that you have on the screen, you're able to add a link behind it. A link behind it could be either a website link or it could be a file link, like a sound link, for example. As you can see, if I tap on rain, rain, I have a sound file on how to pronounce rain for my students. Here at the bottom, I've also added a screen recording of me annotating between those lines on the screen. So we can get the students to come up to the screen. They can choose whichever pen they want to use and they can start annotating on the screen. Don't mind my handwriting, it's horrible, but they can do it that way, okay? I can also go into the next page. So here we are asked to use our text recognition pen. For example, we can stop presenting, we can look for our pens, I can find my text recognition pen and start using it here on the screen. Here, what I did was I added, so I have to use my finger pointer tool, so anytime I tap on this shape, it's going to duplicate, okay? So for example, we have to add these numbers up, so we have 3 boxes of 10s and we have 2 boxes of 2s. So anytime I tap on these, again, you'll be doing this on your laptop, you select a certain shape and you can set it to duplicate anytime you tap on it when presenting. And then we can also drag the different numbers on the screen into our different boxes here. Here we have our clocks, as I mentioned previously. As you can see, the clocks are interactive, so we can use them to set different times on the screen. Here we can use our shape split. So for that, for example, I'm going to stop presenting. It's going to ask me, do I want to keep the changes? I'm going to say no every time because we've annotated on the screen. If we want to reuse that presentation, we don't want to save any changes. I can use my paintball. I can use my little crop tool, and I'm able to split that shape into 6 sides. I'm able to take those parts of the shape out, and I'm able to use my different math tools to measure certain angles or certain lines on that shape as well. Okay, for example. On to my next page. Here we've added a sound behind an image again. Sorry, I have to be presenting. There we go. I pressed both of them on accident. But here we can also drag and drop different names of different instruments on the screen as well. Here we're playing with different colors of different backgrounds. So for example, we have a black background, we have a red background, and a yellow one, okay? Now, we have writing in Irish on a red background. And then if I drop that down to the yellow background, I can see the writing in English, okay? If you're creative, for example, we can have the writing in writing in Irish in yellow, writing in English in red, and you can drop it behind different backgrounds, and we can get the students to say, how do you say a certain word in English or Irish, and etc. Here we can look up different pictures of different castles and etc. for geography. Here we can play different YouTube videos. As I mentioned, they are cleansed of ads before they're shown on the screen, meaning that they might take a few seconds to load up because Lynx is clearing them of ads before they're shown on your screen. Here we can drag and drop different parts of our different parts or different objects on the screen for our art class. And here we're playing around with different layers, essentially like you would in Canva when you have different layers for different pictures. So for example, if we want to see the engine and the driveline, we can drag and drop that on the screen. We can also have a look at our suspension, and again, we can drag and drop it on the screen as well, and we can drop it back behind our car. So these are different simulations made by FET, as I mentioned previously. Here we have different organs, so we have a picture of our human body. We have different pictures of different organs, and we can just drag and drop them onto our screen. We can resize them as well as we wish. And then we have different names here, and we can move those names around. Again, we can resize those as well. We can also make different quizzes. So for example, it's asking me a question. A start of the digestive system is there. If I go for intestines, it's going to say wrong, try again. So until I get it right, mouth, it's telling me you got it right, and then I can go to the next page. Here we have a GIF. So forest with snow. I have different objects on the screen. So this man is set to be editable while presenting. And then we have our mouse here, for example, that is set to duplicate anytime I tap on him. Here we have different numbers on our table, and we have a picture behind those numbers, and we have a dice that we can roll as well. Now I'm just going to stop presenting. It's going to ask me, do I want to keep those changes? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to go back to my dashboard. I'm going to move on to the different parts of that side arrow. Here we also get a choice for our finder. And my finder is my either internal storage or my cloud storage. As you can see, you can connect your Google Drive or your OneDrive to your cloud storage of that interactive display. My advice would be, especially if you're moving classrooms, to connect your cloud drive to your Lynx account. You can easily log in with your Lynx account on the screen, and you can easily log out as well. But if you would like to log in with your Google Drive to your interactive display, you can open up various different types of media, okay? So for example, excuse me, we have a choice for our PDF, PowerPoint, video, and etc. Now my advice would be to download WPS Office, okay? You're going to go to your Clever Live Store and you're going to download WPS Office. This is going to allow you to open up different files on the screen without having to log into Microsoft or Google, for example, and etc. So at the moment, I'm just going to open up the PowerPoint file here that I have, and I'm going to tap on play afterwards, okay? I can swipe through different pages of my PowerPoint file. Now on the side here, I also get a choice for my pencil tool, okay? That pencil tool is always going to be with you, even if you're going to HDMI, Type-C connection, and etc. Okay. This gives you a few different tools that are going to allow you to navigate around the screen a little bit easier. For example, I get a choice for my snowflake that's going to freeze my screen. I get a choice for my bin with the letter L that's going to allow me to leave any meetings that I'm currently attending on the screen. Under that, I get a choice for my spanner tool. That's going to allow me to bring in a spotlight onto one part of the screen. I can use my settings to change the clarity of the screen and the size of that spotlight. Next to that, I get a choice for my timer and my stopwatch. So let's say we're doing different activities in class. I can put up a timer for about 10 seconds, for example. I can move that timer around. I can full screen it. Or if I tap on my pen tool, it's going to bring that timer up to the top or bottom of the screen. Once the timer is done, I can just exit out of it. Under that, I get a choice for my snipping tool, so I'm able to snip different parts of the screen or my full screen, and I'm able to share that snip either to my colleagues that are close to my interactive display, or I'm able to save it onto my files. Under that, I get a choice for my annotating pen tool. So that's going to take a snip of my screen, or essentially it's going to freeze the screen, and I'm able to annotate over that snip. Now I get a choice for 4 different colors of pens, and I get a choice for 4 different colors of highlighters as well. To delete anything that I have on the screen, I'm going to hold my fist with my thumb up towards me, and I'm able to delete anything that I've annotated on the screen. I can also tap on that brush, and that's going to get rid of anything that I've annotated on the screen. To save what I've annotated on that snip, I can use the save icon to save it onto my files, or I can use the QR code. It's going to generate a QR code, and if I have different students or different colleagues that are on the same network as I am, they're able to take a snip that we've annotated onto their own device. I can also upload it to my OneDrive as well, or sorry, my cloud account if I wish to do so. Under that, I get a magnifying glass with a plus sign that's going to freeze my screen, as you can see on the top right side of my screen, and I'm able to zoom into different parts of the screen, and I'm able to move that zoom around as well. Next to that, we get a choice for our 2 windows together. So that's the different apps that we currently have active on the screen. I can also find the active action when I tap on my side arrow on my home screen of my Clevertouch. This is going to show me the different apps that are currently open on my interactive display. If I tap on split, I'm able to split screen as well. So I'm able to have one app on the screen open. And for example, we can have our Finder open as well at the same time. So we can have 2 different apps on the screen at the same time. I can use that middle button to resize those apps. So I can have one app bigger than the other. And I can use that to just swipe it all the way down to the end when I'm just looking to go into one app only. Above that, we get a choice for a whiteboard icon that's going to take you to your default whiteboard of the interactive display. Again, I'm going to show you how to change that either from the legacy whiteboard to the Lynx whiteboard. Above that, you get a choice for your little HDMI icon that's going to bring up that menu of your different inputs like your lux or your HDMI 1, 2, and 3, and etc. Okay. I can also get that menu if I swipe from the bottom of the screen all the way up as well. Above that, I get a choice for my home icon that's going to take me back to my home screen. And above that, I get a choice for my back icon that's going to take me back out of any pages that I'm currently in. Under my Finder, I get a choice for my browser. Super simple. I'm able to use the browser as I am on my laptop, and I'm able to browse and search up different things. Under that, I get a choice for my Clever Live Store. So let's say you already have your Clevertouch and you've had it for a few years. If you still have the Clever Store, make sure you update your Clevertouch interactive display and you're going to receive that Clever Live Store. Clever Live Store, you don't need to sign in. So you can just go into the Clever Live Store and you can download over 100 or 200 free apps and games onto your interactive display. The Clever Live Store is also going to allow you to automatically update apps, so you're not going to have to manually do that. Under that, you get your active windows, which I took you through previously. And under that, you get your lock. So we can set up different users on that screen and we can set different passwords for those users as well. And under that, you have your apps. So these are different apps that are currently downloaded on your interactive display. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the settings and I'm going to take you through a few settings that come with your Clevertouch interactive display. On the first page, you get a choice for your Wi-Fi, so essentially your wireless and your wired internet connection, and your hotspot as well, and Bluetooth. Under that, you get your personal. So in here, you get a choice for your whiteboard. You can set the default whiteboard to either be Lynx Whiteboard or Legacy Whiteboard. Essentially, both of them will still be accessible. But when you go into that side arrow and you tap on the whiteboard app on the top left side of your screen or top right side of your screen, depending on which screen side you're standing at, that's the default whiteboard that's going to open. Under that, you get your users. So for example, I only have one user set because I'm the only one that uses this screen. If you're moving classrooms and if you have multiple teachers using the screen, there is an option to set multiple users or more than one user, okay? You can tap on add user. You can set a password for a certain user and a name. So we can have Mary with her account, then you can have Jake with his account as well, and etc. Here you get a choice for different inputs and outputs. So in here you can change names of your inputs and outputs, and you can also choose your different inputs and outputs for microphone, camera, and etc. Under that, you get a choice for your applications. So these are different applications that are downloaded on your interactive display. Here, you might have to go into these settings sometimes to give different permissions to different applications like app overlay for Clever Live and etc. Under that, you get a choice for your system settings. So here you can change your system date and time, your Wi-Fi region. I would highly recommend to check your Wi-Fi region. Most of the time, it automatically goes to the United States Wi-Fi region. So just make sure you change that to Ireland just for your Wi-Fi speed. It might be a slightly bit faster. Under that, you also get a choice for startup and shutdown settings. So you can set your screen to turn on at 9 in the morning, Monday to Friday, and you can set it to turn off at 3 in the afternoon, Monday to Friday as well. As you can see at the bottom, it's giving me an option to add boot task and add off task. I currently have it set only to turn off at 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, as I don't turn on the screen every single day. For economical reasons, you can turn that on yourself to be on at 9, turn off at 3 in the evening, for example, or sorry, in the afternoon, for example, and etc. If you're looking to update your screen, there's an option that says System Update. I can check for any updates. Mine is currently up to date, but yours might not be if you already have one. So my advice would be to check for any updates that are due. Some of the Clevertouch interactive displays might also have the updates on their about settings, again, depending on which model you have, so you can bring a system update from your about settings as well.